In order to find the HCF, there's a shortcut method. Let me start with easy problems. Let us look at the first problem. The first problem is I want to find the HCF of 8 and then 12. Okay, I need to find the HCF of 8 and 12. Now, all I need to do is I have to find the difference. So the difference is 12 minus 8. So 12 minus 8 gives me 4. Now, do you agree that these two numbers, that is 8, yes, let me just circle it, 8 and 12 is divisible by 4. So 8 is divisible by 4, 12 is also divisible by 4. Hence, very confidently, we can tell that our HCF is 4. Now, let us look at the second problem. The second problem, if I have to find the HCF of 21 and 35, first is I'll try to find the difference. So the difference is 35 minus 21 gives me 14. Now this number 14, I can write it down as 2 into 7 because 2 into 7 gives me 14. Now let me check and then see by taking 7, right? So is 21 divisible by 7? Yes. And how many times it goes? It goes 3 times. Is this number 35 divisible by 7? Yes. And how many times it goes? It goes 5 times. Now I have to check and see whether this number 3 and 5, is it divisible by 2? Is the number 3 and 5 divisible by 2? So is 3 divisible by 2? And is 5 divisible by 2? The answer is it's a strict no. In fact, both the numbers should be divisible by 2. Even if one of the number is divisible by 2, then I cannot consider it. So here confidently I can tell that my HCF is 7. My answer is 7. Now let us look at the third problem. In the third problem, I have to find the HCF of 27 and then 32. Now what should I do? My first step is I'll have to find the difference. So difference of 32 minus 27 gives me 5. So 5 again, I can express it as 5 into 1 or 1 into 5. So 5 into 1 or 1 into 5 gives me 5. Now is 27 and 32 divisible by 5? Let me write it down. Is 27 and 32, is it divisible by 5? No. So 5 cannot be my HCF, but I know that these numbers are divisible by 1 and hence my HCF is 1. So let's move to the next slide. We'll do a couple of other problems. Now I'm slightly increasing the difficulty level here. I'm supposed to find the HCF of 35, 45 and 50. So what I do is, yes, 35 minus 45, the difference is 10. 45 and 50, the difference is 5. So what I should do is I have to take the least difference into consideration. I need to take the least difference. So the least difference is 50 minus 45 gives me 5. The least difference is 5. Okay. Now I have to check and see whether the numbers 35, 45 and 50, is it divisible by 5? And then the answer is yes, and hence my HCF is 5. Now let's look at another problem. Now the problem which is given here is I have to find the HCF of 12, 30 and 84. Again here, I know that the least difference is 18. The least difference is 30 minus 12, which gives me 18. 18 is the least difference. And do you agree that this number 18, I can express it as 6 into 3. In fact, I can also express it as 2 into 3 into 3, right? So I'm taking it as 6 into 3. Fine. Now let me take this number 6, and with respect to this, let me check and see. So 12 and 6, yes, it is divisible. It goes 2 times. 30 and 6 also it is, yes, it goes 5 times. 84 and 6 also is yes. It goes, so 8 and 6 goes one time, and then the remainder is 2, and then it goes 14 times. So 6 will very much be there, in my answer. Now I have to check and see whether these numbers, okay, so I'll use a different marker. I'll use a green color marker. I get 2, 5, and 14. I'll have to check and see if whether these numbers are divisible by 3. I know that it is not divisible by 3. So my HCF over here is 6. And let me do the last problem. Now I have to find the HCF of 150, 210, and then 300. Okay, so I have to find the HCF of these three numbers. So first is, let me find the least difference. Now, what is the least difference? The least difference is 210 minus 150. 210 minus 150 is 60. 210 minus 150 is 60. And do you agree that 60 again, I can write it down as 10 into 6. And again, this number 6, you can split it as 2 into 3. Now, first, let me check and see with this number 10, if whether these numbers are divisible. And I know, yes, it is divisible. I have 150 by 10, it goes 15 times. I have 210 by 10, it goes 21 times. And I also know that this number 300 is divisible by 10, it goes 30 times. Fine. Now I have to check and see whether these three numbers are divisible by 3. Okay. So I have 15, I have 21, and I also have, okay. So I have to check and see whether these numbers are divisible by 3. And I very well know that the answer is yes. 15 and 3 goes 5 times. 21 and 3 goes 7 times. 30 and 3 goes 10 times. So I know that in my answer, I'll also have 3. Now I need to check and see whether these numbers are divisible by, yeah, so I'll use a blue color marker. I get 5, 7, and then 10. I have to check and see whether these numbers 5, 7, and 10 is divisible by 2. And I know that 10 is divisible by 2, but 5 and 7 is not divisible by 2. And hence I cannot consider 2 in my final answer. So I'll again use a black color marker for my final answer. So in my final answer, I'll have 10 and I'll also have 3. So my final answer is, my HCF is 30.